All right. We're finally here doing a Ranger sit down number 4, I think. This is one that kind of, obviously we've had Rudy on the past couple seasons and we've had Scott on in the past to do a podcast, but we ran into Scott in the lot and then also we kind of threw the idea out there of just let's have both of you on. Let's have both of them on if they're willing and down and just watch the Drumline from BD this summer and just kind of talk about it, because obviously they were one of the top groups, obviously, like they are every year, so it always a pleasure to be able to get some insight into like some behind the scenes stuff, some inside baseball information. So, yeah, Evan, you got anything before we get started?
No, I think just we'll intro the podcast and then we'll jump right in. We don't have to waste time.
Yep. So welcome everyone to the Aged Out Podcast. I'm one of the hosts, Michael Fantini, and with me as always is
Evan Worrell.
Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, share the video, share the YouTube channel with anyone you think would appreciate it. Any link you want to go to support us is in the video description or, agedoutpodcast.com. Grab a shirt or sticker. The Aged Out Fundamentals playlist, those audio play-along tracks will help your consistency, your ears, your hands. They're totally free. Links in the description. Take advantage of those. And, yeah, take it away, Evan. We'll get going.
Yeah, so first of all, I'll thank Rudy and Scott for joining us. I'll kind of start with Rudy for a second since things are new and fresh. You just moved to Chicago, so getting settled in. Coming off the summer, moving from California to Chicago, resetting life a little bit, getting a new season of life. What's new? What's going on? What are you up to, man?
Well, definitely a big change. It's not easy coming off living on a bus and then jumping right into a new city. You know what I mean? But it's been great. New spot, little tricky at first, kind of getting to know the lay of the land, working with some programs and everything. But everything's kind of opening up for me, and so far it's been great.
So if you're in the Chicago area,
it's not snowing yet, so
I think you got a little bit of time before that might happen still, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. It was about 60 degrees the other night. I'm like, it's getting close, right?
Have you always lived out like in Cali? Have you always been on the West Coast?
All my life, yeah.
Okay,
like
so
born and raised in Northern California, so yeah, it's about to get really different for me.
Yeah.
In the next month or two.
Make sure you get a stocking cap, something to cover your ears in the winter.
That's what I heard. I have some earmuffs. I don't know if
those
they're
will
big
help
enough.
too. Those are good too.
Yeah.
And then obviously Scott coming from us from California as well. We're thankful to have you on. I know you've been in Tokyo, right? Is that where you just came home from?
Yeah, I was in Tokyo last week, I work with the drum corps over there. And the week before that, I was in Costa Rica. I did some clinic and judging out in Costa Rica. So it's good to be home for a while.
Oh, I'm sure. Nothing better than your own bed when you've been gone for weeks.
What'd you get me?
You know.
As far as the 2025 season goes, before we jump into the video, I'll start with you, Scott, and just kind of talk us through some of the early design or just the tossing out ideas of what we wanted to do for 2025, maybe where some of these thoughts originated. I know obviously there's a lot of other people that are involved in the design team, visually, musically, everything, but yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of chefs. But the final word comes down with Scott Chandler, Dave Glide, Jay Murphy. And the whole concept of gathering, just made it obvious to us. Okay, one person starts, more people add on, more people add on, more people add on. So that was a theme throughout the show. Not with just the drum line, but everything else too, visually. And the whole production was just the gathering as everybody just kind of gathers together. So that was the original concept, which made it very challenging because we had a lot of add-ins and add-ons with the battery, from the very beginning of the show till basically the end. So yeah, but that's where the whole concept came from. And when you pick concepts like that, you can use music from a little bit of everywhere, because you're not really having a musical theme. It's just more of, okay, what says that? Like Uninvited was if you listen to those lyrics, it works with the show perfectly about being invited to go somewhere and all that. So yeah, that's kind of what happened.
And with the change in rules too, it allowed you guys the opportunity to use, I believe it was a soprano sax at the beginning, correct?
That is correct. One of our drum majors was the best soprano sax player in Texas or the country or something like that.
Convenient.
And it's like, we got to use them.
West of the Mississippi.
So he became our soloist.
Nice. I figured it was one way or the other with, maybe the way certain corps will try to adopt the woodwind stuff is people who just happenstance are really good at both things, like either a really good drum major and good at this, or a good color guard member, but also I play flute extremely well. Just that way they can double dip in the, 165 that they're allotted, something like that.
That's kind of how that whole moment happened, was when the rule was passed. Our brass Chip Kratz, our brass caption head, talked to Glide and said, hey, if soprano sax is available, we have this guy who's our drum major, maybe he can do, that's kind of how that whole thing like slipped into that design.
Nice. And I'm sure that, trailblazing the way other groups will continue to look for those opportunities. But yeah, it was a cool moment. It's just a fun texture to hear in the world of drum corps. We've heard it in the world of band and marching band, but just to hear it blended in with the trumpet duet that came in. But I'm going to get outside my wheelhouse of knowledge pretty quick if I go too much further down that road. But yeah, so then the show, the variations on a gathering, and then the process begins, writing music. And then Dave Glide writes everything but the front, if I remember correctly. Is that accurate?
For the most part. Yeah,
and
he'll have a little bit of a hand in the brass arranging, and then he kind of oversees a lot of the music direction.
And then after that, it's kind of disseminated down to the sections, like the percussion section to mold, or I'm sure the brass. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think so. It'll get passed down to other brass arrangers and Scott for sure.
All right. Well, let's hop into. We'll get through, watch some show chunks, and then you all can share ways that they were crafted, maybe the way they changed, evolved over the course of the summer.
Do we want to actually spend a second on the process that BD uses, through spring training, what the main focus and goal is, and then I
think we should.
I figure with all the stuff going on the internet this year and us trying to get the internet to calm down in the beginning of tour, I think if you want to talk about it a little bit, the process in spring training, how you approach it, and then compare it to what the goal shifts to, if it does shift once you get on the road and you're out of that, that mode.
Yeah, I think this is a good spot to do it at, because this opening lick here, the first thing that Odd plays, was not in the original things. And Scott will be able to talk about that. That was something that was added because of our process.
Right.
The way it was staged and where Odd was, it was oh, okay, we should make this that.
I don't know if people know this or realize this or check this out, but we probably change more than any drum corps out there. We change daily, whether it's music or visual or both, or adding stuff, subtracting stuff. We morph. I use the word morph. We morph the hell out of the show constantly. So it's never even the same from day to day usually. And the beginning of the show started out with our center snare Odd, and Odd was staged standing there doing nothing for 5 seconds, 6 seconds, before they started the add-on thing with the snare line, because of the way the staging worked out. And Scott Chandler came up to me and goes, "So that's kind of weird." I go, "Yeah, Odd should be playing something." And he goes, "Well, yeah, go ahead." I go, "Okay, Odd." And I wrote a thing out real quick. Play this. And so that, that's how the show started. Because of the staging, we started adding stuff right away. So yeah, that's an example of how we morph things into, Chandler has the great line, designed by discovery. And that's exactly what we do. We get stuff on the field, and after we see where it is and what it is and how it is, it's we should do this there. We should do this there. So we definitely morph a lot throughout the season.
Yeah, and I think that's also a credit to Chandler and the design process is, you hand out a show and you have a group of performers. The group of performers changes every year, and you hand out a show, and sometimes certain things aren't working or don't fit the performers that you have. And so what I like about, it starts from Chandler is you design the show to the performer's strengths. You know what I mean? So if you design a show without knowing what their strengths are, and then as you're going through the season, it's well, they're really good at that. They're not so good at that. And then you just make adjustments to that. And then ultimately it's for the performer to be as confident as they can be playing to their strengths. Like, you know what I mean? Not that we're not working on different skill sets, but when you're designing a show, like I think that's a great concept is you design it to the performers and you're going to have to make changes, you know, and that's one of those things, like, especially this opening moment.
Yep.
And we're very fortunate. We're very fortunate to have mature performers, because you can't do that with a high school.
Yeah.
You got to do it with extremely mature performers. As much as we change, that's part of the that's part of the audition process. Is changes, to be honest.
Yeah, changes with talent are definitely much smoother than changes with high school, where you can maybe do small things, but like overhauling a tune or like a transition is.
But kind of the same concept is being smart about, like, okay, they can't really do that. You know what I mean? Like, unless you make it. I'm just meaning being smart about the changes you're making into your show with. Like keeping in mind the horses you have, you know, the performers, like what can they do, and being smart about that mid-season, you know, or at the beginning of the season. So it's a really cool process.
And
you guys,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, and you guys also have, you know, from what I've heard, one of the more organic staging and visual development processes as well, where there's no dot books, there's not really the UDB that's prevalent. It's the visual staff that have kind of like a mold, and then they're like, you go here, let's see what that looks like. Which is a tedious process.
Yeah, it does get dotted. It does, like, it starts very organic, it gets kind of blown up, and then the next day they're being handed like actual dots, and you know.
I don't think we got dots this year, to be honest. I don't think we ever did. I don't think they ever charted anything. We had the concepts, but I don't think we actually charted it like we normally do. I could be wrong. I don't remember Jamie. Jamie Hawley's usually the one who charts everything after it's out on the field.
I'll call him. Let's get him on the call right now.
But it's usually after the fact if it happens.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, there's no dots ahead of time.
So there are some things that like affect visually that are known, like, okay, we want it to end in this big form, or end this with the props, or the props are going to move here. There's always like that in mind, but traveling from A to B, C to D, or whatever, like that's kind of like, okay, they can run that way, or you know, and we've had to make some serious choices on that front as well, where it's like, okay, they're playing this really cool thing, but now they're, you know, at the concession stand moving props, like, you know what I mean? So we got to take that out. Like, okay, like.
So would you say it's safe to say your spring training process is much more creative focus, and you're not really worried as much on like, oh, let's spend all afternoon. We really need this afternoon to clean this phrase or something, or it's kind of just, you kind of let it happen as it's going to happen, and you're worried about the show. That's what I've always heard about your all's process, and I figure
that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
We get the show out on the field. We want a complete show from the first show that we compete in, you know, and so we just want to get it out there, and then we start figuring out how to clean it. Basically.
Right.
Yeah. So we try to take advantage of every moment of our camps, and just kind of like, you know, try to establish the technique, the approach, all the things, learn the music. Spring training, we'll at least get a block of where we're drumming. You know what I mean? And or a block and a half. And then it's figuring out the visual stuff, but we always tell the line, like, hey, like, I know you want to crank right now. I know you're used to, like, you know, 24/7 drumming this first week and a half of spring training, but just trust us. Like, this is what we have to figure out. We're going to get this all figured out, and then we'll dial it in, you know?
And we don't get drumming time very much in spring training. Our drumming time is during the visual block when we're out in the field. We'll do a warm up, get back on the field, you know, so they're drumming while they're learning drill pretty much, or learning staging, you know, so we don't get those. It's rare when we do, but it's rare when we get, okay, you guys have the whole afternoon to yourselves, you know, go do something. It's like, hell yes.
The thing that
Not
drove
really
that.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, the thing that really drove that idea about your all's process home for me is obviously you guys know Dean Hickman. They played quads in 9, 10, I think, those 2 summers, and I just remember Evan tells a story.
8 at Crown.
At Crown. Yeah. But I remember, I think it was the 09 summer, Evan, you told me that he told you, or 10, I can't remember which one, where it's like you talked to him during spring training, and he was like, dude, I haven't worn my quads in 3 days, because we're just trying to figure out the creative part of like the ballad or some part of the show. They kept reworking. He was like, yeah, I literally haven't worn them in 3 days. It's wild.
Yeah, because it was so much different than his Glassman and
Crown experiences.
And I was at Crown in 09, and I was like, dude, you left me. And he was just like, yeah, have fun waking up.
Yeah, so I had him at Crown '08, and then we kind of had the Glassman connection because I was there in '06. And just when he came, to Devils, and it was almost like he thought he was being punished. He was like, "Why aren't we? How come we're not?" And I'm like, "Dude, just chill. Like, you got to learn the opener drill, like, or whatever. Like he thought that he was like, are we not good this year? Is that why we're not drumming?" I'm like, "No, we're fine. Like, just relax."
09 was pretty good.
They were all right.
Here we go again. No, but you know what changed? You know what changed all that is props.
Props.
I mean, in Blue Devils, we now are an ensemble for almost 3 blocks a day with everybody out there, because to work things, different sections move props or use the props or whatever. So it's became a necessity now to have the drum line out there all the time during visual blocks, all the time.
That's fair.
Makes sense.
Another little random tidbit. Aren't you, Mike, linking up with Brandon tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. So Brandon Zacke is going to be, his band is playing at Louder Than Life in Louisville, Kentucky tomorrow, where I live. Nice. The hotel he's staying at is 5 minutes from my house. So I sent him a message. And I was like, "Hey, what time's your flight get in Thursday?" Because he'll be busy all day Friday. It's when they're playing the show. But he's like, "Yeah, I get in Thursday night, and then I'm playing all day Friday, busy there." But he's like, "I leave Saturday morning." So hopefully tomorrow, later, once he's in, I'm either going to go grab him at his hotel and find somewhere down the road and get a beer, or just, I've never met him in person, actually. We had him on here, and Evans met him a long time ago.
He's amazing. He is amazing. I say all the time. I haven't seen him live yet. Rudy has. But I haven't seen him live yet, and it's just watching the clips online. It's like, God,
where I was living in
clarity of quads around on drum set.
Yeah,
we're like going on a tangent, but the book report like split. I was like, dude, this is insane.
The stuff he can do with his feet is the wildest part.
I lived previously in Sacramento. Like his band was gigging there all the time. Like Whitechapel was coming through. Like I was literally coming home from teaching and going to a favorite little pizza spot and looking across the street like, "Oh, Meshuggah's there," like calling him like, "Hey, are you here?" And he's like, "Hey, sorry, dude, I would have called you." But I was like, "No, I had to teach anyways. Like, come get some pizza,"
That's awesome.
Heck yeah. Well, that was a really circle moment to get back to this opening moment that starts with odd and this organic development.
Now that we've taken 3 tangents, let's jump in. And this video is by ProMark, everybody. I'm going to double check that actually and make sure it is the ProMark channel. Yep, ProMark drumsticks. That is where everybody should go. Link in the description. Subscribe to the ProMark YouTube channel. If you don't want to listen to us talk, you can go watch the video without us. Links there. All right, I'm ready to jump in if you guys are.
Buy Rudy's stick.
Yeah, buy Rudy's stick.
Let's do it. And Scott's.
and Scott's. Of course. So this is that opening solo we were talking about a second ago.
Got added into the show. Also, motif.
Foreshadowing the bolero.
Mm-hmm.
It originally didn't start like that. We added that later. It was just ram right out.
That's me saying making sure everyone claps for Odd.
Yes. Are you showing it right now? I can't see it.
Oh, did you click the watch view, the watch stream?
Yeah, there should be a watch stream button.
Gotcha.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys love
the layer in from the back too.
Mm-hmm. That's actually good to point out. So what Evan was alluding to there a second ago, the add-in started from the front, and typically you start from the back and you add in front. That's just another one of those small, subtle layers of difficulty here where it started in the front, and it's much harder basically to add in from behind somebody playing in front of you. Now, they're close enough, but even then, there's still some added difficulty from that environmentally.
Yeah, they're even
about that. They were on the back sidelines for this. They were way back by the back hash, so it never really got judged. So it's like, we'll keep it in just because it's cool. But yeah, it never really got judged.
And it's triplet rolls and 7-lits. Like there's the rolls are modulating as they're making these cold attack entrances.
I feel like that. I was going to point that out. I'm glad you brought that up. I feel like one of your all staples in recent years has become the modulating roll. Like just one continuous roll that just changes hand speed, changes heights abruptly up, down, in the middle of all of it, and just it just requires so much maturity for the subtle adjustments in the player's hands to maintain the roll quality while changing the hand speed and the openness or closeness or however you need to play it. So again, more subtle difficulty that a lot of people may not pick up on.
We brought up a couple times in critique, which is that's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty hard.
It's demand, but it's not
especially when you're adding in. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's pretty hard.
Don't miss the train.
Then the detail on the left as it crescendos, also very difficult.
Loud stuff.
The motif passed around different sticking variations of a sticking.
Great blend on that roll.
Come here.
Well, hold on. What was
Great
that?
speed up
What
with
just
the
happened?
hand-to-hand and the sped up metric change there.
Yeah, so it started as
Let
a
me talk
hand-to-hand.
about that real quick.
Yeah, what happened there?
That was a bass feature.
Well,
a lot
beyond
of
that.
splits, obviously. But no, we added that snare part strictly for tempo
Okay.
because, to be honest, the horn line couldn't read the bass feature because it was too split up and too crazy.
Mission
So we had to have
accomplished.
some kind of tempo back there. So we just had to add this little buzz thing. But it was all about the bass line for that section, which was like extremely difficult what they were playing.
Well, there's a moment there where they go to a hand-to-hand on the top drums, but then it feels like it got denser, and I couldn't follow
Yeah,
what
they
added on.
modulate.
Yeah,
They
They
split
do
the
like
6 output and they split 30 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Triple
Say that
it,
one more
triple
time.
it, digga. Yeah.
I'm looking at it. I got the score next
I'm
to
pretty
me.
sure. I'm pretty sure with a crescendo too on that.
So say what it was one more
Okay.
time, because a lot of us were talking over each other. I want to make sure people
Two-
can hear it.
2 6-doublet split, bugada, and then 2 counts of 30-second note split with your
Gotcha.
hands.
Okay.
And the 30-second note split, but the last count actually goes down in pitch for the 4 drums. So
Okay. Got it.
in the 30 seconds,
Rum.
correct.
Solid.
A lot of grace notes.
Try to take that one.
You said you tried to
I
take
love
one of them
flames.
out? All right.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about that phrase anymore, or do you want to jump right into this add-in that was all over the internet and just everybody was just being ridiculous about all summer? So
Rudy, you said you actually started to label it in the lot, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Every time we played it, I called it the internet sensation.
Hey.
man,
Yeah. I mean, because it really seemed like it was. I mean, from our end, it was the internet sensation. But I'll just go ahead and say this: like I've been kind of teaching for a little while now. Since I've been teaching Blue Devils, like we've been doing a lot of things. Like in 12, we had like the add-on roll, and like the Excel roll. All like we've tried a lot of things. And this one was up there. Like just. I mean, if you just looking at it, you can see that it's an Excel, and we have like 8 consecutive cold attacks while the tempo is excelling, and it's like super exposed, like you hear every little thing, and it's hard. You know what I mean? Like it is very hard, and we put a lot of time into it, obviously, and very proud of the performers, but it was a little crazy, like seeing how much the internet was reacting in a negative way to us.
well,
And I got to tell you,
go ahead, Scott.
I'm going to jump in here. It goes from 65 beats to 200. Okay, in that short time, and it's a very familiar rhythm that anybody can play. That was the problem for me.
Yep.
It was a very familiar rhythm that everybody knew, and I'll be honest, I was going to change it until the internet went off. Then it was like, we can't change it now. We got to figure it out.
We gotta prove the
Seriously,
point.
I kept
We
thinking,
can't give
we're gonna
in.
do we're gonna do something else. We got to do something else because it's too friggin' hard. We're not going to get it. And it literally took us till the end of the season to figure out the method and the math to make it work.
Yeah.
And it took us that long to. And we tried many different options how to do it. Whether it's just a straight Excel, lock this bar. I mean, all of the above. And we finally figured it out at the end that to make it consistent, or at least as consistent as we can get it. But no, that to me, that's a big thing. We were going to change it. I was going to change it. I'm going, okay, we can't do this. It's too friggin' hard. And then after the internet, it's like, got to figure it out, guys. Let's go. And we asked the snare line. I sat him down one day and I go, so tell me, do you guys like that? Do you enjoy it? Do you hate the internet because of it? Do you want me to change it? And they're going, oh, hell no, it's badass, man. We're doing it. And I'm going, all right, here we go.
There you go.
Yeah. And there were, I mean, obviously when you're on tour, you got some dog days, right? Especially, you know, when we were getting into Texas and it was like just before San Antonio and, you know, everybody's working hard, like everybody. And it's like, when you're getting into that point of the season, it's like, okay, this is the hunt. You know what I mean? And that's really when a lot of these videos were coming out. And it was just like, man, like I remember like getting up in the morning and like seeing them just being like really? Like we're getting like really? Like,
well,
like
so
just seeing some of the comments and then seeing like the groups posting their snare lines, like doing this add-on. And it was just like, wow, you know what I mean? So like, I know I had a moment where I was just like what the hell, man? Like really, like what's going on? I remember like standing in front of the battery. We're about to warm up. And I was just going like, hey, have you guys been seeing this? And they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, you guys have seen this? And I'm like, how do you guys feel about this? They're like, oh, whatever. Like testament to this group, man. Like they were awesome all summer. Like just awesome personalities to work with. They never let any of that like get to them. They just did their gig.
Well, that speaks to their maturity. I mean, that speaks to their maturity first off, and their grit as members and performers.
Well, just and their grace.
Exactly.
Like just to be able to do that and see all the stuff. And granted, like a lot of people were like, oh, it's just a joke. Like it's just that. And it's like, okay, but at the same time, like we're the ones out here doing it.
Right.
We're the ones out here grinding every single day. And if this is how you guys are reacting to it, like, you know, and granted, we're not MCU percussion, you know, they gave it a try. And, you know, when we saw that they couldn't play it in their video, I was like, well, if they don't have it, maybe we're toast, you know? And then, you know, and then there was Few and Secret 11 who posted that my local high school line could play the snare book flawlessly. And I was like, well, then we don't have a chance, guys. But, you know, they
so here's the best. Here's
just a couple of shout outs.
Here's the best part about that. At finals, we were announced that we won the YouTube awards, which I didn't know existed. Apparently, it's whatever drum corps gets the most. Whoever gets the most hits on YouTube wins this YouTube award. It's literally a plaque they presented to the corps before we went back on the field for retreat. I'm going, what the hell is that? They told me, and I turned. I think I looked at Rudy and I went, it's because of Bolero.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't either.
Where's our
Hopefully someone out there knows that they can post something about it. But no, we got this award that we had the most hits on YouTube. So there you go.
So what I think happened and why it took on a life of its own, for lack of a better way to put it, is everyone's obsessed with going viral on the internet, and everybody wants to have stuff that gets traction and like gains some followers. It's like the currency of the internet: likes, follows, clicks, all that stuff. And people saw that it was blowing up. Like, I don't know who the first group was that did a spoof video on it, but other people probably saw all the comments, all the likes, all the shares, and were like, we could make a spoof video of that in our high school or our whatever group. And everybody probably was not clout chasing, but just like trying to capitalize on the opportunity to go have a viral video. And then it just kind of snowballed. But it's a quintessential example of one of those things you all always do every year. There's always, like in 2012, it was that drop out and add in roll that it held. Every year you have something that is a high risk, high reward thing that it's like, if we get this, we're going to get so much credit from the judge if we can do this. Yes, it's going to be potentially a competitive detriment if we don't get there, but you always have the option of watering it at the end. I've always respected your all's, I guess, balls for putting some of the stuff in the show that you guys do. And this is also an example of people latched onto it, I think, because we said earlier in our recording here, you guys do things that have a lot of subtle difficulty to it. Scott, you said it a minute ago. It's rhythms that everybody can understand. The first time you hear it, it starts out very basic. It's very easy to read and follow. So everyone just assumes, oh, it's super easy. Like they're just playing upbeat sextuplets into a sextuplet and adding on. Like how hard is that? But it really is extremely difficult, like Rudy kind of spelled out. So it was a very unique.
Well, and I remember when Dave Glide talked to me about that, because I want to do, this accelerando moment with the bolero rhythm, and I'm going, what do you mean by accelerando? And he goes, well, from like 65 to as fast as we can get it, and so that was the goal. And I remember thinking, and I told the drumline this, okay, here it is. This is going to take us till August to figure this out. It was one of those moments where, okay, this isn't going to happen right away. We just got to be patient and see if we could even do this thing, because it was a crapshoot in the beginning, to be honest, to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we'll watch it now,
also,
but
I feel like it's also gotten harder over the last couple of years to have a moment like that and get it clean and then be like, get the credit for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's been a little harder for that. Like the 2012 moment we had, like it was like, man, we were digging on that all season. And then finals week, hell yeah. And things went our way. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's been a definitely more of an uphill battle these past couple of years with some of the moments we've had. That's just my
a lot of that's because there's less shows now too.
True.
I mean, the 2012 thing, the first time we nailed it was at the RCC show, which is early season, and we nailed it. And from there on out, it was really good for a long time. I mean, we had 13 shows before Indy this year. 13, that was it.
It's crazy how few there are.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have to now because of the finances, and just the schools and everything else. So
housing sites.
Yeah, that changed the game a little bit. Yep.
All right, well, let's watch. There's two reps in this video. We'll watch and appreciate the
difficulty. We're going to watch them both?
Yeah, why not? And the bassist layer on at the end, which is really cool. Just more of that off-speed roll hand change stuff.
I got something about that real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was originally not in the show. That was not in the show.
The second part of it. Thing. Yep.
Yeah, because what happened is the snares, they finish bolero, big 16th notes, slam, and then they just started peeling off. It's like, well, we should play something and make the peel off be more cohesive. So I wrote this modulating thing with the diddles, and so that's where that came from. Is because of the staging, because of the visual, we added that drum part.
Nice.
And I will be honest, I was like, oh yeah, Scott, let's make that whole thing harder.
let's add more difficulty for
let's add another exposed moment. Cool.
Of course.
Well, and by the way, I know the internet calls the bolero the snare feature. It's not a snare feature. That was just a little transition into the next section. But everybody called it the snare feature because the snares played by themselves for 8 seconds.
That snare feature happens later. Well, to me, the snare feature.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we didn't write that to be a snare feature.
Nice. That was better.
It was.
Snare finish. Yeah, just really, especially those guys adding on the outside as it gets further, time is further away from the outside and it's faster.
We found the medium tempo ones, like the third or fourth people that added in. That was the harder tempo to get.
Go Blondes.
Great 1 count rolls. Offset left accent there. Jeez, to open your hands up like that all of a sudden.
Let's do a plie too.
That's also.
So I'm going to let Rudy talk about the quad break, but where it came from, that used to be a quartet horn quartet playing in the original show. And
all
we were staged in the middle of the field with the drum line. They were facing back, and it's like, oh, we need another quad break somewhere in this show. And said, they're on the 50. Hello, let's turn them around and have them play. And we actually had the guys in the line come up with a few of those licks too. But yeah, go ahead, Rudy.
And so that whole thing stemmed from, we didn't have that quad break when we were in spring training at that moment. And then we had a quad break later in the show at the beginning of the other production. And so we're in sectionals this one day in spring training. We're like playing through the quad break, and that quad line was really, really good this year. Like one of the best I've had in a little while, for sure. And so we're in sectionals and we're playing stuff, and I was like, man, we have like an hour and a half left. And they're like, well, let's make up a lick and put it in the show. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. We can't just make up a lick and put it in the show.
Why not?
And they're like, and I was like, you know what we can do though? We can make up a lick and post it on social media and then make the internet go crazy. And maybe we can add it in. And so we took the quad lick that we had and then made a tag ending to it and posted it. And immediately I'm getting texts from our social media director. People were like, yo, where'd you, like, you posted that video. Can you share it? Can we even share it to the Blue Devil thing? And I go, well, it's not in the show. And they're like, we don't care. We want to post it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And so we're in sectionals, like laughing as this video is like blowing up. Then Dave Glide just happens to walk by. And I'm like, hey, you want to see something? And he's like, yeah. So we play him the whole thing. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah. Okay, cool. And he walks away. And then when it came up, I was like, we could throw a quad break in that moment. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Cut the quartet. We're putting the quad break in there. We were like, yes.
That's awesome.
Oh,
The four baritone guys weren't too happy.
I'm sure.
I was going to say,
sure.
who was the quartet? Like,
Yeah.
They're like, they're replacing our moment with some stupid drums.
Chase, I apologize. I did apologize to him. The baritone section. Chase, I was like, sorry, buddy.
He apologized.
He's like, that was you? I go, well, kind of.
He apologized, but he strategically maneuvered to make it happen.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Actually, I'm going to take 2 seconds and grab another drink because I'm empty. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
but I have a question then.
Yeah, go ahead, Evan.
So we're talking about the quad break that all these videos have been resurfacing later. Somebody has created this Instagram account, Quad Drumming, and they're posting like all these videos of like mid 2000s, maybe even late 90s. And personal opinion or just the flavor of tea that I like. The quad tuning to me does seem like it's gone, like the pitches are a little bit lower than maybe what they were in the mid 2000s. Do you feel that way, or is it, if you do, is it for a specific reason, like because we're in the dome and the way it balances with the ensemble? What do you feel, Rudy?
Well, yeah, like back when I was marching, late 90s, early 2000s, and even through the mid 2000s, the quad tuning was a lot higher. Like we were reefing those drums, like they were like
double hoops.
I remember, like we used to say like playing on glass. You know what I mean? Like it just felt like super rebound, not quite as resonant, but they just sang. You know what I mean? Like it was a whole different sound. But we can't really do that. We can't take the drums as high, or as like I don't know, like as much as we're playing on them, like they don't last as long. You know what I mean? So like we're changing heads more frequently, so we're being a little more, I guess, aware of how high we're taking the drums and how often we're taking them high. But yeah.
Well, also, back in the day, the quads were cranked like crazy, right? But it was like playing on wood blocks. The snare voice had plastic heads too before the Kevlars even came out. So the separation in the voices were really strong. And now with the Kevlar snare heads, you get those quads cranked up that high, and it kind of cancels each other out every now and then. So we definitely, for like, God, maybe 10, 20 years now, been a little bit lower pitch, than back in the 80s and 90s. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude, the 90s, some of those, like somebody posted one of those old Blue Nights videos. I was like,
ugh.
Those things are
It's stark. It's a
blocks.
stark difference.
wood blocks.
Wood blocks. I've never heard it said like that, but that's very appropriate. All right, let's keep moving.
Nice bandana.
Hot.
I love the quick little bass bursts in the middle of those big notes.
I feel like that's a BD calling card. Cha-da-dum, cha-da-dum.
Yep. The texture contrast with the quads on the Spox, the bass drums running up and down the drums, and the snares playing the buzz roll was really interesting.
That was one of my favorite sections of the show. That whole ending, it was like it was, I think, 200, and then we bumped it to 210 or something. Like it was, yeah, it was just a lot of fun. Like the battery coming in and the way they were staged, and like the music was, it just felt good to play. A lot of good interplay, and just the way the whole thing visually unlocked. Like that was a fun, really fun part to watch and be in front of them for sure.
The momentum with like the flat line being like choom, choom, and then the bass is just, and then the space where on the quads. Yeah.
There's quick little interjections between like every section, like little like snares, like on the quads doing a little like and the way they started they started in a tight form.
That was a fun section where the
third time's the charm. Who's going first?
I know, right? No, the form helped, but what was cool is the way all the voices were just flying around, and it was quick. You know, there was quick little interjections from each voice happening, so that was cool. But this next section, and Rudy, you might be able to know this. When did the snare visual start during quad breaks in the line? Watching the snares behind the quads, they've been doing this now it's been years, that whenever there's just the tenors playing, we're in the lot, the snares get together and do this visual. I'm trying to remember when that started. I don't know when that started.
I want to say it was like 21 or 22, whenever the summer after COVID.
Right after COVID, I did. It wasn't before COVID. For you snare drummers out there watching this, chime in. When this thing start?
Somebody knows. Like I saw that on the.
I have to go back and look at previous years. I haven't realized that it was like a yearly thing. I know they did it this year. I noticed it this year, obviously.
At least the last 2 or 3, easily.
Yep. Yeah. So if anyone knows in the comment section when that started, when BD started doing that, let us know. See, the stoking engagement, everybody. Stoke the engagement.
There you go. Inside scoop.
Dude, they had some of the best roll quality I've heard from a quad line in a long time.
They were sick.
Wait, pause this. So that tenor lick was written by the 2 guys in the tenor line.
Which 2?
We actually talked. If you're looking left to right, Harry and Eddie, the guy in the center, and the guy right to his left, Harry, who's the only tenor who aged out. Harry's the only one who aged out. Yeah, they came up to me. They go, "Hey man, we got an idea for this one quad section because we had some stuff that we were talking about." And I go, "Go ahead, let's see what this thing is." And so they did it, and then of course we morphed it and changed it, and Rudy made it work. And yeah, so this was actually originally by the guys in the center line.
That's awesome. I love when that stuff makes into the show, and members can put their like ownership on what they're doing with the ownership and everything.
Absolutely. The one's drumming every day, 24/7. So yeah, they got good shit.
Yeah, right. They know what they're good at too. They know more intimately than anybody else what they're the best at, and if they have any unique skill sets.
Knowing your horses.
I mean, it's so true when that happens in lines. I remember at X in 2012, Evan, my favorite thing we played on the show was that snare break during like the electronic music part in that show, because we wrote it. We all wrote it together finals week in a circle with Josh in the middle of us, and we all just threw ideas out there and pieced this thing together, and it was ours. Like we wrote the thing, we chose what we wanted in the feature. It just gives so much more nostalgia to it when you go back and watch it, incentive to clean it, and not that we need incentive when we're competitively doing stuff like this at the high level, but you know what I mean.
Great split singles.
Dude, the balance player to player is unreal.
The bass line always plays with such good velocity.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, no pause.
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
Is this about the exercise?
Maybe. Go ahead.
No. So I do like when you guys do the challenge in that lot for the flams exercise.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things from the summer was somebody's like, they don't even have any flams in there. And then Rudy was like, the unisons were flams.
That is correct.
I think that was pretty early. But that's a fun time. That's a good time.
Yeah, it's fun in the lot every time.
It is.
I thought you were going to say, Evan, they do the choo-choo visual and then don't play any choo-choos.
Oh, I did say that in the reaction.
I was like, I thought you were about to bring that up. Like, they do the choo-choo visual, and there's no choo-choo rudiments in the next things they play. It's like, missed opportunity.
Nah, I'm pretty sure they didn't really want to dut for the horn line, so they decided to say choo-choo instead of dut.
Yeah, it's a little more fun.
Plus, it was a tempo. Plus, it was a tempo change, so they had to do something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
More great interplay.
Bing bong.
Yeah, it's back. I always thought that was an error.
I'll talk about that.
Every time Eddie came in, I was like, what is he doing? Oh, that's right.
We were weird staging. We were way off on the left side, like the 10-yard line. And originally we were behind the horns, and we needed another drum moment, so we actually pulled them over to the side and come forward so a judge couldn't even hear some of the stuff, the very ending, which we changed a lot. And the attack was so weird from where we were staged, we added a cheater, which is the tenor lick. It was Jom, Perdo de la Rock, right? So that was it. And about second show, Eddie came up and he goes, hey, I got a better lick. Can I play this? And I'm going, no, nobody could read that because it was too difficult. It was like, and he's really good.
And then you would leave tour.
This is just for tempo.
Then you would leave tour, and then he was like, hey, can I play this? And I'm like, ask Scott. And he goes, I already did. I'm like,
no way. Did he really?
It's like the dad. It's like the dad telling the kid, "Ask your mother."
Is. I know.
Just passing it around.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Somebody will tell me yes.
This moment. Is this the ballad?
Yeah.
No. You can preempt this one because this was not in the.
We changed
this
completely.
This is one of those years.
Rewrote this thing completely. Absolutely. Like, I don't know, after the third or fourth show or somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I can't remember. When did we start? I don't remember when we started changing all this. It was
we started it after the first show, Colorado, because we got some comments upstairs.
Content.
And
that's it.
Yeah, and from the drum judge downstairs. The way we were staged, we were over on this prop, and it's like this ballad moment, and we had like all this very lyrical crescendo decrescendo rolls, like modulating, and a lot of it was just the snares and bass drums.
Yep.
But when they were staged, they were just like right there, and even Jeff Brooks, I think, was the field judge for our first show.
That's correct.
He was like, I'm kind of confused what this moment is. Like, is it supposed to be a feature? Is it supposed to be this? And we're like, well, it's supposed to be staged for it's staged for something. So we ended up like rewriting it and tweaking it, and that became this whole moment right here, like all the way up through, like there's like a part where they dub, but this whole beginning half of this thing is them like right there coming forward, playing all this stuff, like with, again, modulating rolls, decrescendos or crescendos, decrescendos, like hand speed, like velocity, like we threw, like Scott threw all of it into there, like in this little moment. And they played, this is probably the most consistent thing we had by the end of the summer, for sure.
Just so you guys know, like the behind the scenes stuff, I was not on tour for, I don't know, 4 days, whatever it was. And I rewrote this whole thing at home, and I sent it to Rudy and the guys. And I saw the first video, and I'm going, that's not what I wrote. because it was completely changed. It was still there. The context was there and everything else. There was a lot of stuff that was still there, but no, this was supposed to be really fast egg beaters, and they were gone, and now they're doing just diddles and all this stuff.
Oh, you can't take out egg beaters. Come on. Egg beaters are the best rudiment ever. You can't take those out.
It was like dotted eighth egg beaters, like
it was
like,
hard.
Dun, 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 like wee. Yeah, it was hard, and we're trying to learn it. And he sent me all the stuff, and we're looking at it. I remember we were in this classroom, and we were somewhere where it was like 115 outside. So we're just in the classroom. I'm like, whatever, we'll learn the new ballad beats.
Which was why I was home.
Yeah, while he's home, and he's like, send me a video ASAP, and I'm like, no problem. And so we got to some of those parts, and I'm like, we're like repping it, and it's like, oh my god, this is like really, really hard. Then I go, hey, can we try something? Can we make it this and then try this? It'll feel a little better. And they're like, oh yeah, that's good. I'm okay, but just make it more expressive. And then I sent him a video. He sent me a video like 10 minutes later back, and it's him with a pad, and he's like, we can do this. And he plays through it. He plays through it on his pad, and he plays through the chunk, and he did play it, sticks in, and he goes, we can do it. And he like turned the video off, and I was like,
he's like, if I can do it, they can do it.
Yeah, and then everyone's looking at me. And
the old man can do it, they can do it.
I was like, leave it.
But hey, the bottom line, it came out great.
There it is.
The whole thing, which morphed many times. This is it coming up here, and it was literally my favorite part of the show. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's two things there. I think that you're referring to is like the real weighted like triplet roll, which is like is that what it is?
There's weighted triplet rolls. There's faster.
It's pug it up, but the accent's a diddle.
Yeah. But to jump back to, you're talking about the feedback from the first show, where you have two judges that obviously you're valuing the feedback that you're getting, because you're like, man, both these people are in, like, one's on the field, one's up, and they're both kind of like calling us out, like they don't really get the intent or what we're trying to do. But even Dean and friends that I've had march that Blue Devils have always said, the staff is always very receptive to the feedback they get from the judges and critique. And, they might not change everything or disagree with some things, but some of it they're like, maybe we should take a look at this and really see if, like, maybe there's some validity to what they're saying.
And upstairs, it was mostly it wasn't like, what's the drumline doing? It was like, okay, well, what's happening here type of thing. Like, and we looked at it and we're like, well, this could totally be a moment where they're being very expressive. And it was crazy because they're changing so many velocities, like from low to high, like density is changing. And the whole time they're just marching the halftime to this, I think it was like 165 was the tempo, or it was something that was like not too fast, but it was just a lot of control went into this part, and they nailed it, man. By the end.
All right, let's watch what it ended up as. I love those hiccup left accents. Oh, jeez, those right doubles that high are so tough.
Yeah.
Nice. Fast burst right there on those duple rolls.
Yeah, the beginning of that, just, a lot of going from front fulcrum pinch rolls to like back finger singles on the consecutive hands or the same hand. So
there's so much variety in that phrase, man. Jeez, just crazy hand speed changes. The burst, really fast duple 16th note roll out of nowhere. Just so much demand on the members' hands. Like that's the staple. That's just like the one thing I take away from your all's books the most is just the level of control you require the members to have to work in and out of these phrases in this book. It's unparalleled with I don't know if I'll say what anybody else in the activity plays, but it's right up there with, like, it's unbelievable every season. I just shake my head half the time.
Appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
This is like the feature moment to me.
Z.
Little triplet flame action. That would be the snare feature.
I think you are correct.
Correct.
Yeah,
That would be the
that
snare.
would be it.
Dude, it's got like a flavor of like was it 97?
Yeah,
Where they came in. It's like it's kind of a little flavor of that in there for me.
But that's also another moment where it wasn't like a full battery pit percussion feature. Like it was like originally designed as being a bass moment, and then it was a snare moment, and then it went into the horn entrance. You know what I mean? And then it was like, okay, that can totally be a drum solo. And so we threw that in there, like what you just saw there. Like the quads weren't involved in that first beginning thing.
We lengthened it too. That was a longer version than the original battery.
Yeah, we lengthened it. We made it more of a battery moment. Like the bass thing got a little shorter. They used to have like the whole first half. But yeah, it's another feature that we added in after Colorado.
It's always changing.
Because that one,
that was even later.
Because that one started off with it was like the 5-lit like Flam 5 like or something like that. It's like kind of a cold attack Flam 5 in there.
Yeah, they still start with that. Like the snare, I think the snare kind of stayed the same. It just it's like it got reworked a little bit into like the full feature moment because the quads ended up adding in, the basses adding in.
Okay, yep.
Cool. What's funny about that is when we did that snare feature, I changed some stuff in there to make that split 16th note back and forth between A, B, whatever. Chicka-digga, because the tenors did that in their quad feature earlier in the show, and I kept thinking, oh, this would be a good little theme for us. Yeah, no one ever picked that up. It was too quick. I knew it. That was about it.
It's fun for me.
There you go. That's what's important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this section.
Yeah, love it.
The bass quad layering on that roll was really cool.
Nice
really tasty.
Bring it home.
I love all those little those bursts up. Back to the Bolero theme.
Just the jumps up and down with hand speed here, just the control required, and feeling that together as a drum line.
That whole phrase, there's more 5-lits than there are 3s. Everywhere.
The 5-lit has kind of become the new triplet. Like,
yeah, kind of.
Oh, very true. Yeah, very true.
It seems to fit. Oh wait.
Well, my theory
The
about
5-lit
that
just
is
seems to fit with like the horns better than like triplets overlaid over like 8th note figures and stuff like that. It's not quite as like
yeah, and we've had a couple moments in that shows like the last couple years where it's like the ending, and it's like these big like horn lines playing these big half notes, and you're trying to keep some kind of velocity, so it's like, oh yeah, throw some 5s in there because it kind of keeps it moving, but you're also like, where's the downbeat? You know what I mean? Like, kind of keeps it a little ambiguous.
I think people have realized it. They work well. That 8th note 5 speed in the hands works well at certain tempos, where like a 8th note duple is a little too slow for that tempo, but a triplet roll might be awkward in that middle range somewhere. So a 5 is like the perfect speed that feels comfortable and gives you the right velocity.
Yeah, like at that height, like playing, like it's a 5-lit.
Well, and with fast 5-lit rolls, it doesn't matter what the horns are playing because the velocity is so quick. It's just that sustain. It's not a rhythm per se. You know, like a triplet rhythm that people recognize. The 5-lits people don't recognize as much, so it becomes that sustain of which you could do dot or da dot or whatever on top of that. So it works.
And I think it's also interesting, like when we have phrases like that, at least with the battery composition. So when the horn line is big, we're playing those big like 5-lit rolls, and then in our score, you don't see us like drop down in volume. but we add in velocity. Like it's like 5, half note 5, and we play these fast. When the horn line drops down, it's like we don't really have to do it, drop down, because we have to drop down to play that speed. You know what I mean? Like we're using velocity to kind of influence the dynamics with the ensemble. Like,
yeah,
which is like, that's why when you hear that phrase, you're seeing those big like sticking stuff, and then we drop down. Like this is usually when the ensemble kind of dips a little bit, where we're using velocity to kind of influence the dynamics of the ensemble.
And as we stated earlier, as far as how much we change, that closer was changed finals week. The last couple of days, we added 12 counts of drumming and music and drill and everything else. That was like brand new, and like that whole we bring the Bolero theme back, one more time, which wasn't in there, a day ago.
So moral of the story, everybody.
Well, I remember we passed the music out the night before, and then got to the Colts facility, and the drumline was stretching, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna go outside and learn this music. You guys got it right?" They're like, "Yeah." And then Glide texted, "No, it's different." Because we were like, "What?"
And I hit up Glide. I got the music. I'm looking at it because Glide redid the stuff, and I took a video. I sent it to Glide. I'm going, I can't believe we're not using Bolero again. And he goes, "Oh shit, that's a great idea." So, literally, bring it in. Let's try this now. And again, thank God the mature players that we have can do that, because it was literally on the spot.
Takes
These 12 counts,
man.
do this, move this here, put that there, do this. Okay, there we go. It's ending.
So moral of the story, everybody. If you ever think of making a comment on the internet early season about how bad the Blue Devils drumline is, just know they will more than likely make you look really stupid by the end of the summer. I don't know how the average fan hasn't learned this yet. Just be patient. I know we're spoiled. Everybody thinks, we've gotten spoiled. I think I brought this up before we started recording. We've gotten a little spoiled maybe as a fan base of like, there's been some groups that have come out way cleaner than groups normally do. And it's kind of spoiled us. Like, that's the standard now right out of the gate. It's like, no, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You just got to let every group kind of do their thing and see where it settles out in the end. Like, some groups come out good and plateau really early. Some groups come out a little dirtier and they really peak right into finals week. There's different ways to do it. Relax. Stop being an asshole on the internet. That's all I'll say.
Come on. It's entertaining. It's entertaining.
I know. It is fun. I know we're sharing the comments in our group text and stuff around our group on our phones and stuff, but
there's something I've noticed with WGI percussion and obviously DCI for sure. It's weird because I look at like other, like you'll see color guards post stuff or brass people post stuff, and it's like, the percussion is by far the most like, that sucks, or I don't like, or that's, you know what I mean? Like it's so like such a negative take on things. And it's like with our battery alone, like this past summer, like with all the haters and everyone saying things and everything, it's like, if you were just to meet them and hang with them for like 30 minutes, you would love them. And like, it's like, I don't know why you see it on the internet and you think, oh, I got to hate on that, or I got to do this. Like, I'm going to comment because I want to be negative about that. It's like,
yeah,
okay.
I've never understood that mentality either. I've said that to our friends a lot too, where I'm like, I've never once watched a YouTube video about anything and thought about leaving a comment that was negative, like crapping on what if I don't like it, I just move on. I don't engage with it. It's like, I've never understood that kind of approach, but everyone's entitled to their opinion at the end of the day.
I'm the old school. I like going to the internet to watch things I like.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I want to get mad right now. What can I get mad about?
What can I find that's going to piss me off?
Yeah.
And here's something that I know a lot of people don't know or realize, or maybe they don't care either. That's okay. But that drum line from last season 25 had one snare vet in the middle.
I was going to ask that at some point.
Everyone else were rookies. The tenors, we had 3 vets. The bass drums, we had 2 vets, I think. So it was a fairly new percussion section.
Had 3, but
but we lost.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was meaning to ask before we wrap up here, like, what was the retention from 24 to 25, which you kind of just went over? 1 snare vet, 3 quads, and 2 basses, you said, was all that returned from last year. A lot of age outs previous to summer. What's it look like going into next year? I don't know if we already broke that down or not earlier, but
it looks really strong. Yeah. Possibility is from this line, there's 7 returning. There's only 2 age outs in the snare line. There's only 1 age out in the tenor line, and there's, I believe, 2 age outs in the bass line. Now, if everybody comes back, that's always a different story.
Yeah, life happens, stuff
And
happens.
Last year we had 6 snare vets that were coming back, but life happened to 5 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, and it wasn't all at once. It was like literally like WJ finals. It was like, oh my god, we just lost our 5th vet. You know what I mean? Like it was like.
Yeah.
I got the last text. It was I was in Dayton for WGI, and I got a text saying I can't do this summer, or they won't let me out of school. One of my Japanese snare drummers, and so we like panicked, going, "Okay, find a snare drummer here in WGI somewhere. Go out to the lot."
Who wants to audition? Come audition for Scott on the side of UD Arena.
And somebody bring me a beer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh man. So Rudy, what I'm hearing is I should expect, with how good this year's quad line was, I should expect the best quad line that's ever existed in DCI, playing the wildest stuff we've ever seen. So the bar's high.
Interesting. The best quad
Yeah.
line in DCI.
Because
And a lot of good quad lines. Man.
There's been a lot of good ones.
Wow.
It's been a lot of good
we
ones.
got the 4 out of 5 vets returning so far, and you know, we have some DCI rules meetings coming up. Maybe I suit back up and jump in, be the center.
Hold on. That just
I know
reminded me.
Scott's been waiting. I know Scott's been waiting. He's got my uniform still hanging in his closet.
That reminds me. I wanted to make sure I asked.
My bones would break.
Oh, dude, I couldn't march and do the stuff. I couldn't do it at where I'm at now. But question: will the judge ever get put back on the field? No. Scott says no. Rudy, you think
Fetty,
no too?
no, you know, I'm telling you, if the way the activity's going, if anything, we're gonna put them upstairs.
No, don't do
Put all
it.
the judges upstairs.
I'll riot.
You're preaching to the choir. I want them on the field. I want them with a hovercraft above the battery, cruising around. You know, so but I think the way the activity's going, that's.
I know money's an issue, but I say all the time, like, why can't we have? If you want a box percussion judge, fine. Put an percussion ensemble judge. Either keep them on the track, judge everything, or put them up top, then put a battery-focused judge on the field. And if safety is a concern, my argument is one of the risks presented when a judge has to judge the battery out there in the front by the track, they have to run through the core or miss a lot to go around, which causes increased risk for safety. But if they're just a battery judge, if something's about to happen, they need to get out of Dodge, they can go straight side 1 or side 2 and chill over there for a minute till they're judgeable again. They're not going to miss much.
Years ago, I was on the task force, and it was me, Mike McIntosh, and Neil Larrabee at the time. And that's when we created Percussion 2 for that reason.
Yeah.
The battery judge is back by the battery, and all of a sudden they stop playing, and it's a pit thing. It's cool. Stay with the battery because the guy upstairs can cover it.
Just chill out there.
You know?
Yep.
And then unfortunately Percussion 2 left us without any warning. It just disappeared. And no, I'm a big believer. The more judges, the more fair it's going to be.
Yep.
Give me 10 drum judges. You know, put them in the stands, put them
Give me a
upstairs, put them on
quad
the side. I
judge, a
don't
snare
care.
judge, a bass judge.
Yeah, put them in the back of the field, the side. I mean, the more judges, the more fair it's going to be.
It dilutes one person's weight.
With where like technology is going, like there could be a judge sitting like halfway up, listening to the mix of your battery. Like, okay, how clean are they? You know, instead of being on the field, he's just listening to the battery being mic'd. Or there's a drone.
I was getting ready to say a drone could fix that. Microphone technology is so good at this point. If you had someone, you can either program the drone ahead of time and submit where the battery moves on the field the whole time, and have the drone just follows them like a judge would, and somebody's in the box or something with headphones on, they're adjudicating.
Well, you have your own staff member. You have your own staff member control the drone.
Yeah,
they're every day.
That would work too.
They know where they're going.
They know exactly where to go.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. I agree completely.
Quads don't play this role good. I'm going to go to the pit on this part.
Yeah, you couldn't have the staff member do it. That's a good point. That's a valid point, Rudy. It's like,
we just learned this part. We're going to go to the.
We're going to go over to the snare line for this. Let's shift the drone.
Crashed all of a sudden. I don't know what happened.
The feed went down. The Bluetooth went down.
No stigma.
All right, not the staff of the group. We'll program them or have a independent person paid to learn the drill of all the shows to pilot the drone around. No, but it's...
No, they have those. They have those drones because they do it for skiing where you can program it to stay like 10 feet above you no matter where you go.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I have a golf cart that's like that. It can
Would
follow
that
me
sound
behind me. You know.
Would that
Exactly.
distort the
But
sound,
if you have
though?
that,
If
No,
you're
if you put it
above
over, like, the
them
centers-
or in front of them a little bit.
Nah. You're good.
we'll never know till we try. I
That's
don't know.
true. Might as well test it. Can't hurt to try.
It's better than what we got.
I would agree.
Technology is a wonderful thing. I think we need to use it more. So there you go.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else before we close this out? This has been a blast.
Oh man, thanks for doing this. I mean, as much as we have fun and bitch about all the lot stuff compared to what it actually is on the field, but it is fun. It's a good time, very entertaining, and I do follow you guys all the time, so it's pretty cool.
No,
Thank you.
we appreciate that. Thank you, and thank you all for giving us your
definitely.
time.
Yeah, no problem. Just been writing music all goddamn day, but so happy to be in front of a computer more.
And Rudy, I promise. I know we talked to Scott in the lot this year. Are you going to be at WGI in April? Are you going to be in Dayton?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We
I
will make a point to find you and hang out in person a little bit because I feel like I don't know. We come
I'm
to
going
the
to be doing
BD lot.
something out there.
We come to the BD lot usually one of the 2 days because we got to space it out to see everybody and stuff while we're there. I don't know. You guys look in the zone. There's always a big crowd. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy that just like shoves his way to the front. Like, oh, hey, staff member, how you doing? I don't know.
You can be that guy, man. Come on up. But yeah,
Give you a
I'll be
good
doing
seat.
something.
We'll give you a
like
good
that.
seat.
All right. Next year we'll do it. We'll just shoulder some people out of the way. All right, Evan, you got anything before we close this?
I'm good, man.
All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out. If you're still listening at this point, an hour and 14 minutes in, comment, like, subscribe. All the links to support us are in the description, like we said earlier. Aged Out Fundamentals, agedoutpodcast.com, all that stuff. Subscribe to Pro Mark Drums YouTube channel, and we'll see everybody in the next video.